my artwork ain't for everyone, and I'm cool with that. If 10% of the people in the world like my art, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. If 0.1% like it, that's awesome. My name is Sean Lugo. You could add a 9 for fun.
Awesome, we will. Like old school mics. I think would be good.
Just let me know.
Yeah, how's that feel? Can we start with the? How do you feel about Philly? What do you think of the city we live in and deal with every day?
So I'm not a Philadelphian.
Yeah, where are you from?
I'm from Jersey. 35 years in Jersey. 35 long years in Jersey. And I moved to Delaware, but I've been adopted by Philadelphia. I'm considered a Philadelphia artist. I find that hilarious all the time because I never lived here. But I love this community. This community means the world to me in Philadelphia. The people in Philadelphia get a bad rap because I think it's all based on sports. That's why Philadelphia gets a bad rap. Sports fans could be chaotic anywhere. But the people I've been in touch with in Philadelphia are amazing. This city is a breath of fresh air. I built a community where I lived, but this community in Philly is something different. For someone who's an outsider, and to have all the opportunities I've had in this city, solo shows, working with mural arts, it's insane. I appreciate it so much. I'm even a mummer.
Wow.
I'm embedded in the city. This city has given me so much. I owe this city way more. I owe the city way more than it's given me so far. So I plan to continue having fun in the streets for a long time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Why did you end up? You're from the region, but you ended up here. What kept you here, as opposed to moving towards Baltimore, D.C., or New York, depending on if you're thinking Delaware, Jersey?
Yeah, well, I grew up right by the Lincoln Tunnel, so let's just say, as you get older, 20-something years of that is rough. To an outsider, the dream is like, oh, imagine what it's like to live in New York. I can tell you, it's a rat race. It is a rat race. That's why you see so many rats. It is a rat race. It is survival of the fittest. It instills that in you. It's very cutthroat. There's not as much collaboration. It's more competition. And I believe you should have some competitive spirit in whatever you do, but it should be your drives. It shouldn't be because you think you're better than someone, or that you deserve this, or that you deserve that. The only people who deserve things are people who work for them. So to me, I think it's tough. It's tough to say that it's a horrible place. It made me who I am. I wouldn't change it for the world growing up there. It literally made me who I am. It allowed me to survive in any hood, in any street. I've seen a lot. So it molded me to the person I am. So I don't want to be like, oh yeah, screw that city,
Sure. But the question, do you want that rat race? So you came here because you wanted something different.
I needed something different.
What drew you this direction?
Me and my wife fell in love with Philly. We would come and visit. I have a good friend in Philly. He owns a bunch of stores. He runs Jinxed out of Philadelphia. And he was the first friend I had in Philadelphia. And sooner or later, he wound up becoming a brother, And me and my wife, we're coming down here, spending the night with him, checking out Philly, exploring. Let's just go to Philadelphia. And we looked at houses, we looked at taxes, and then my wife goes, well, you know, Delaware is only 30 minutes away, and it's half the taxes of Philadelphia. And I said, well, I grew up next to the Lincoln Tunnel, and it takes you an hour and a half to get through that. So if you're telling me a city driving is legitimately only 30 minutes away, then let's go to Delaware. And I got a job literally 3 months after having this conversation. And we just packed all our bags and moved to Delaware and eventually acquired a house in Delaware.
Awesome. Yeah. And then you wanted to get your work shown in Philly? And how did
No,
you
I
connect
never
that?
wanted to get my work shown anywhere. I just wanted to create work. You know, it's for me to say like, oh yeah, I wanted to be, no. I never thought I would have a solo show in Philadelphia. I never thought I would have a solo show anywhere. My life is all I can only tell my story, you know? At the end of the day, I could do a poster about, let's give an example, Black Lives Matter. I could do a poster, let's say, about Palestine. I could do those things. That's not my life. I don't know what it's like to be in those places or to be in those situations, you know? I only know what it's like to be a brown boy and how I grew up, what I experienced, what I lived through. So I only know me, so I try to tell me through my art. Whether it's doing a series that I do in Philadelphia, that I create portraits of Philadelphians, it's because they inspire me. So I try to tell the world, this person inspires me. They're from Philadelphia. I put them up in Philadelphia. You should know about this person, you know? And I've done over 50 people, you know? This is the 5th year of me doing it, and I've done 45 walls. By the time I'm done, I got 3 more to go, so let's.
How did you get connected with mural arts?
That was a beautiful situation that just happened to fall in my lap. Once again, like, I don't expect things. I never thought I would ever work with mural arts, just like I never thought I would have a solo show. Did I think I was gonna do that wall? Yeah. That yes, that's different though. When it comes to putting things up in the street, it's the only thing that I have confidence in when it comes to my art. Showing in galleries and things like that, it's weird for me. You know, I'm literally a street kid. You know, I know people say that term, but no, my curfew was midnight when I was like 10 years old.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm legitimately a street kid. So, you know, when it comes to street things, yeah, I feel confident. You know, when it comes to indoor activities like this, the conversation or whatever, I'm comfortable, but not confident.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not confident.
You have to keep your work outdoors?
I feel at one with the street.
Yeah.
You know, it's a beautiful thing, and be able to create paintings to put them indoors. It's beautiful. I created over from like 2000 to probably 2010. I created hundreds of works. I would just give them out to people at times during shows, if I had a show. And I had many solo shows in places, bars, restaurants, you know. I did the whole grind, the hustle, and I just did it because I loved art. Everything I do is literally for the genuine love of art. My full-time job surrounded about art, you know. I try to do things outside of myself, like curate shows, or if I could put together a wall and get friends to do it, I'm all about that. You know, to me, community is everything, and this art community is so strong. Like Philly has an art community, but it's outside of that. The more you do, the more friends you meet from all around the world. Like I said, I'm a street kid with a crazy upbringing. Father was incarcerated when I was 9 years old for something horrible, which I won't speak of. You know, and my mother is an immigrant who came here at 16 years old from Cuba, and she was as hood as they come. You know, she was She landed from Cuba to the Bronx. That's wild. You know, that's wild. To me, I think it all started with graffiti. Like, what got me into creating, you know, was definitely graffiti.
Do you feel like there's a point at which you're going to become the teacher? Pass on some of the things you've learned?
No. My only job is to pass my knowledge on to my son. And if someone wants to listen to my rambling nonsense, I'm pretty sure they could take something from it. But yeah, I would never try to teach, because to me, I do have a lot of knowledge and wisdom from my upbringing, how I grew up. I have life experience, you know. The la lucha is real, the struggle, you know. I know all about that. So I could always share life experience. How my love started. I think it all started with graffiti. I used to draw comic book characters and stuff like that, but it was just to try to draw what I liked, would look cool as a kid. It was never like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a comic book illustrator. Oh, goodness gracious. I can't draw the anatomy like top of my head like those savages do. So.
What's your talent, your inclination, that drive? Where'd that come from?
That I'm not 100% sure. My dad doodled, my mom doodled, but my passion of love came from graffiti. That like literally pushed me to know more. I didn't know what Picasso, Warhol. I didn't know any of that until I was in my 20s. All I knew was graffiti. If you wanted to tell me about a graffiti writer, oh, I could tell you where he was from. Oh yeah, this guy's from Germany. Oh, this guy's from Switzerland. Oh, this guy. You know, I had all that information. I didn't know anything about museums. That none of that happened. But once I found out something, I kept wanting to know. For me, the goal as an artist, when I tell my story, is for people to step in my shoes. I'm not telling you to walk in them. I'm just telling you to step in them, just to get that perspective. The last big solo show I had in Philadelphia was called Immigrant Mentality. And that was me telling the story of being raised by immigrants. My biggest piece was an old man that I took a photo of the Dominican Republic, who was sitting on this throne, this worn out like chair that looked like a throne. And he had these two little kittens on his lap, wearing Crocs and long fingernails. And I looked at him, and this dude looked like he didn't give a shit about life. And I was like, I fuck with this guy, just by looking at him. And I was like, oh, you puedo coger tu photo? Like, can I take your photo? And the dude just goes, and I was like, that's a yes to me in my book. And I took a photo, and I was just like, thank you so much. And he just gave me another nod, and I'm like, that's the goal. Number one advice is work. Don't stop working. Work is everything. All this other shit, whatever, it's work. It don't matter who you know, how many likes or followers. No one gives a shit. No one gives a shit. After this presidential election, no one's gonna give a shit. This is life. Everyone cares for a short moment, and then it's on to the next thing, right? So as long as you work and you do what you wanna do, you'll be a happy man or a happy woman, hopefully, you know? That's all it is. It's just work. You got a passion, do it. No, everyone just has excuses. Sure. I work a 9 to 5. I like money. Sure. I want to make sure I have a stable home. I have a mortgage to pay. Yeah. I need insurance for my child. I still do all the shit I do, you know? Yeah. Why? Is because I love it. Do I love sleep? Yeah, but sometimes, you know, sleep's got to take a back burner, you know? Getting 43, it's harder, man. It's harder. It's harder to do those long nights. If you love it, if you love anything, if you love cooking, then cook. Show people the love you have. Because if you love cooking, then I would love to eat your food. You know?
Sure.
And if you love art, I want to see your art. like truly love it. Like I don't expect anything. I have no expectations, you know. I have no expectations to show my art, to have solo shows, to have the opportunities I have. I have none. Like I said, I'm not in it for this. Am I blessed? 100%. Am I grateful? 1,000,000,000%. You know? Mm-hmm. But all I could do is just put the love that I have. Like I love this whole culture. I take my 9 to 5 is an art handler, and I take that serious. You know, if I'm wrapping a painting, I want to make sure whoever gets that painting goes, damn, that was a good pack job.
Well, can we talk about your current work, what you've got here in the show?
Yeah.
What was the inspiration for this piece?
That's a lovely skateboard right there. Technically a longboard. So that's a piece from a show, my last solo show I had in Jersey City that was called The Corner. So I had nothing but street signs in the show. Mm-hmm. So all the art was done on street signs. And then I thought it would be cool to add street element. I used to love skateboarding as a kid. I was never good at it. I could ride one, but I was never into the tricks. I had friends who could. And it's just something I loved. I just loved that culture of skateboarding. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know, I gotta add this into the show. Once again, my life, like, what did I love? I used to love just riding down the block on your skateboard with your buddies and whatever the case is. So I'm like, yeah, I think it needs to have just another element.
Was there a story behind the character on the board?
So this character is an artist in Philadelphia, an amazing artist. His name's Carlo, and this is one of the clones that I did his portrait of. The first season I did it, I surprised everyone. No one knew. I just literally went online, took 9 photos of people, you know, and just recreated them. And everyone's like, what the, you know? Yeah. Which was cool. And then the second year I wanted to like collaborate and actually start taking my own photos or whatever the case is. But for this one, you know, he embodied the brown boy that he is. You know, it had like that witchcraft type of brujeria vibe, walking, that farmer vibe, you know.
It's an interesting combo.
Yeah. He kind of looks like a modern farmer who's got a chicken head in his pocket. And I wanted to name him Santo, you know. And Carlo is an amazing human being, an amazing artist in Philadelphia. And for me to create his portrait, it goes to show he inspired me, you know. And that's all that series is. So when Tim hit me up asking me to be a part, I was like, damn, you know, I don't have time to do anything new. And I really don't like showing old work. Very fortunate I don't have a lot of it, you know. Mm-hmm. But when he hit me up and he said, oh man, it would just be great to have you. And then Tim's an amazing person. Yeah. I love Tim. You know, he'll be a part of that clone series one day as well. And he's a great dude. So when he hit me up, you know, like I said, it's a community.